signal. Why is it dropped? Why has it dropped? We had signal. Hi, Juno. Hello. Right, well, good morning again. Part two. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome along to Crighton Pet Services live dog walk. I'm Stephen Crighton, and you join me and my team on Tuesday for our first live stream of the week. But we've had to go live twice now in the same period, so hopefully this gets a bit of connectivity, a bit of traction, and a few viewers. Fingers crossed. If you're watching back as a video on my channel, as I know so many of my subscribers do, thank you for doing so. Hope we've had a nice weekend. We've had some interesting news in the places that we walk. So yesterday I didn't go live because there was a bit of an incident involving the police. Nothing to do with me, nothing to do with the dogs. Everyone's safe and well as far as I'm concerned. But the place that we walked in had a huge police presence yesterday, and so we didn't go live out of sort of respect for what was going on. Still not really heard anything about that, so it could be quite interesting to see what unravels over the next 24 hours or beyond. So so we are now probably stuck in a few less areas that we can use just as a result of that thing ongoing, which is a bit interesting. But I think we'll manage with the beauty that we have around us and the sort of vast array of stimulus that we have where we are. I'll just pan the camera up. I don't know if it's going to be able to focus on no, definitely not get through the leaves here, but maybe over here if it takes a second. It's blue skies. It is roasting hot out of the shade. Another really hot day, and I was saying on part one of this live stream that the dogs have, over the last week or so, you've seen their energy levels just begin to deplete slightly because they can't cope with this prolonged temperature range that we're having. And when we've been out and about, we've desperately sought after shaded areas, waterways, all that kind of thing. But they're obviously pretty highly sought after from a lot of people as well. So we've done our best to kind of keep out of harm's way and keep the dogs cool and keep them moving and keep them interested. But it's been tough. It's been a tough couple of weeks for the pack. And so if you're watching along thinking, oh yeah, but the dogs are going to be running around and having a good play and all that kind of thing, maybe not today. Maybe not, as Mac just runs past me, crashes into the lead and catches up with the pack. But for the majority of us, I think we're going to be taking it easy, conserving a bit of energy, and just following our noses, which might not make for the best television. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. If you're a grown-up and you'd like to comment along, you can do what Universal Edits has done and drop us a little message. But behave yourself in the comments, guys. Come on. And yeah, if you've got any questions about the dogs or anything that you'd like to know about how we get on with the dogs together, then you can ask anything you like. The point of the channel was to show my clients how their dogs got on with each other, and we used to make quite elaborate, long 15-minute long videos showing everyone how that was, and then that took a lot of editing and a lot of sort of manpower to kind of get that. And so as a result, we've turned our attention more to live streaming, which is just a little bit easier from producing content point of view, because all I need to do is point and click. There doesn't need to be any editing or trawling through hours of footage or trimming clips here and there and that kind of thing, making sure audio's right. It's a lot of work. We will go back to that at some point soon, but for the time being I'm really enjoying being live on a daily basis. That's what we do. We go live every day, show the owners and you watching along just exactly how the dogs get on with each other and the challenges that we face. And we never know what's around the corner, and I mean that sort of figuratively and like as by definition what's round this next corner. We don't know. There could be picnickers, there could be sunbathers, there could be children's party. We have seen a lot of things over the years. A lot. You coming up, Mac? Come on, buddy. Come on. You missed out. Come on, Mac. Up you come. Yes. These guys get it. Oh, Barney gets it. Good boy, Barney. Good, you guys. Good. Good. Look at you. Look at you guys. Arthur, no, they're not my dogs. This is my business. So I look after these guys. I've got the privilege and the responsibility and the accountability of making sure that these guys are safe and well worked, and the people around us are safe and not pestered by these puppers. So far so good. There's no one around, just us, and we're having a good time. But thank you for your question. It's a great question. It's a great question. Andy, hello. How are we doing? How are we doing, guys? Thank you for everyone stopping by. If you enjoy the content, nice easy thing for you to do to help show your appreciation, just a little thumbs up, a little like to the video. That goes a very long way. So if you want to help out a little business like mine, thank you so much for doing so. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're really enjoying this content, we have some drama. We have some drama. Hello? Are we all good? We also have a crow joining us. We'll talk about that in a minute or two. This crow is going to follow us all the way to the field outside. Juno here and Harris here are incredibly well suited from a play point of view. They get on really well. They were the two. That was Juno who was barking there a second ago. But unfortunately for your ears and for my camera, she can only play with him on full volume. She's like a tennis player grunting when they take a shot. That kind of thing, you know. She can only play with the volume up as loud as it goes. So, and I don't know, she was trying to get him to play and he just wasn't having it. That ties me back with something I was saying a few minutes ago, which is that because of this prolonged period of hot weather that we've had, the energy levels and the amount of exertion that the dogs are showing me on these sessions is going down and down. They're just conserving a bit more energy on each walk. They're being a little bit more tactile about when they're going to use sort of explosive energy and things like that. And it's interesting to see how certainly some of the more senior dogs in the team and the more sort of sharp dogs are just taking it a little bit easier and enjoying just a nice stroll, opposed to sort of explosive energy every sort of chance that they get. And on cooler days, we definitely have more explosive bursts of fun. But we're pretty much in sync with each other, as I'm sure you can tell if you've even watched along for 5 or 10 seconds. There's little in the way of drama or stress between the dogs, which is how we like it. And even when they do have that sort of powerful play, that really fast running or the crashing into each other, that kind of thing, it's always done from a place of what we would class as psychological safety. So you can only really play with the dog to your left or your right in a way that is quite, you know, exhilarating and maybe also a little bit violent to the untrained eye. You can only do that if you have trust with the dogs around you, that kind of level of play isn't going to escalate into something that's going to be a fight or unwanted behaviour. So they're very well suited to be with each other. And often when we come out into space like this, that's when we'll get a lot of them having a good old run, a good old play with each other. But it's just not happening. There's Barney chasing off the crow. He's not to be deterred though. Hey, big fella. Hello. There you go. That's for you. That's for you. No, one for Otis, one for Mac, one for Juno, one for Barney, one for the crow. There we go. I'm sure they'll enjoy that and then come back and join us once they've gobbled that. So I was saying before, a few minutes back, if you are enjoying the stream and you're watching it for more than say 10 seconds, I think our average viewership's about 40 to 50. So if you're staying longer than that and you're hanging around, why not just really support the channel and give us a little subscribe to the channel? That would help us out enormously. And the reason that helps out is because, as I was saying before, there will be dog owners in Edinburgh that are looking to use my services and or someone's services, and if they stumble across my social media and they see all of my lovely content and all the nice comments from the community around, and even some of the challenging comments, you know, people saying, is it responsible to have these dogs out together, is it right, blah 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 blah. So we get the chance to address that on this channel, and your input goes quite a long way to that. So the fact that we already have about 1,200 subscribers is testament to the dogs and how well behaved they are, and what's going on. Certainly tend to see a more uplift in subscribers on a day that we've had some drama. If the dogs have been up to nonsense and running around daft and things like that, it seems to be more what the people would like to watch. But these people tend to drop off again on the next session because we don't get that again the next day. Good girl, good girl, good boys, good boys. No, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you so. I see you. The crow's back. Oh, Juno and Harris are back at it. Again, apologies for the noise, but they are friendly with each other. They're playing in a way that they know that they can push each other's boundaries to that kind of limit. Juno, come. And that noise isn't necessarily aggression, although it does sound really aggressive. But she's asking him to play. She's asking him to play. And in a moment or two. So remember, Juno's the one with the purple collar. We've got Alfie with the green. Otis with the, what are you in today, buddy? Black. So Juno will walk quite happily with Harris, who's up ahead here just now, when we catch up. And she's not trying to hurt him. She's genuinely trying to get a bit of a chase, a bit of a play going. But I suspect that Harris is too hot, too tired for it. Hello, Crow. You want another? Here you go, bud. No, we can't. What's he pointing at? Oh, what are we not happy with? So Ruby's hackles are up. This is the spine on the back of her, on her back there rather. And the only thing in the area that we've not, that isn't normal or isn't natural, are those two people walking up the hill there just now. Now it might be a number of reasons, but what we tend to find with a dog like Ruby, whose nose is really good, as she's a beagle, she's a hound, her nose is basically the best in the team here. And what we can find with things like that is that these guys are maybe walking up this hill, maybe they're a little bit unfit, or maybe they're a little bit worried about the dogs, maybe they're a bit unsure. Your body goes under stress when it's having to deal with those situations that it's maybe not used to dealing with, and it gives off a lot of smell when we do that, especially like if the body's under stress. And my suspicion is that one of that pair up there maybe either doesn't like dogs or is working harder than their body is used to dealing with when they've walked up this path and this lane and up here. And they're obviously producing a significant amount of stress in their body, which Ruby's picked up on, giving a little alert howl, that little fire engine. Ooh! Both Ruby and Harris were fixated, as in pointing, looking at that couple. And then, as they've gone out of sight, they've just returned to normal, and they're not bothered. They're not bothered. You tend to find that people who don't like dogs are the ones that get barked at. The ones that get a hard time from dogs, and it's usually because, I mean, in my opinion of that, and again, it's maybe a little bit of bro science, it's maybe a little bit of just things that I've seen and observed over the years, but the fact that the dogs are probably incredibly well evolved to avoid people that might do them harm. They can detect people that might do them harm based on their body language and their smell and what they're used to and all that kind of thing. And when people are around that don't necessarily like that, they're always a little bit alert to it. So I think that makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. Crafty Clark. Old Ruby's still on the leash. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, for Rubes here, so you see, she's no different from the rest of the team. She's no different from anyone else. She's quite happy to walk with the pack. She's not a million miles away from us. She's not pulling me on the lead. But, and here's the caveat, is that in days gone by, I've lost her in places like this or more difficult terrain for hours on end, like 2 hours plus, and she just wouldn't come out. And every now and again I would know where she was because I could hear her, or maybe she would disturb some birds or something like that. But she's a bit, when her nose goes down, her ears get shut, and that is a difficult thing to manage individually with Ruby. But when I'm working with the other dogs as well, and I need to get them home back to their owners, and I need to go and pick up the next set of dogs to get them out so that they're not waiting in the house for too long, it becomes operationally a bit of a challenge. So she's kind of, it's a horrible way to put it, but she's burned all her bridges in terms of the number of chances I'm willing to give her, which is maybe a bit cruel, right? But she gets good freedom, and if she was taking part in some chasing, especially if the dogs were running around, and you know, sometimes they can really cover some distance, you know, like this kind of distance, much wider than the lead. So I'll just disconnect my end and let her chase. When that happens, she has to be in the right mood for it. It's not really her skill set. She far prefers using her nose. But when it happens, I'll let her do it. And it's not happening today. It's too hot. It's too hot. She just doesn't listen. No, she doesn't. And you know what? I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me that she doesn't listen, because things that are more deal breakers for me are things like she doesn't get on with the pack, or the pack don't get on with her, or she isn't enjoying it. You know, there's things like that that are far more important to her sort of sense of satisfaction, that would be deal breakers. And I'd be very honest with the owners and say, look, Ruby's really not liking this, and here's why. And we've got lots of video evidence to show. But she does love it. She loves it. She just can't be trusted. There's an argument to say none of them can be fully trusted, but which I accept. I think some people see what we do and are astounded that we've got 7, 8 dogs off the lead, able to walk together without fighting and all that kind of thing. They find it fascinating, but some people are terrified by the thought of that. And I think that's another reason why I started the channel as well, to kind of try and show people a different side of dogs, especially dogs together. We tend to see quite a lot, I see a lot on social media of dogs and owners saying, oh, they're not friendly, keep back, you know, all this kind of thing. Anything for a few clicks. But I want to grow the channel the opposite way. Show the love. Show the love. Yeah, safety first, that's a great way to put it. And you're so right, that's like the determining factor for that particular situation. Here, in this open space, I'm okay. I can see her, I can't catch her over short distance, but I can catch up to her over a prolonged distance. But what she does isn't she's not running away from us. She's hiding in amongst gorse, which is like, not sure which part of I can't remember where you're from in the world, Crafty Clark, but gorse is like prickly bushes, and there are thousands of like needles on them, thousands, and underneath this bush, this sort of canopy, is great sort of space, like a little vacuum, where things like badgers and deer and rabbits and foxes and whatever, they all live. And so it's perfect for her to come and have her nose into and smell and sniff and hunt and that kind of thing.